Daunanamut Besalam. This is an Arabic text that says, let us live in peace, let us live in inner peace, let us weave our dreams together, let us die in peace. It was written after 9/11, the poetry by an Arabic man and the music by a Jewish man.
Good morning. It's a gloomy morning outdoors, but the lights are shining inside our sanctuary. I'm Don Rakow. I will be your celebration associate today. May we gather to nurture our connections, seek inspiration, and embrace change. Nurturing gratitude is our theme for this month of November. Practicing gratitude can re-engage our sense of being alive and awaken us to what is truly precious. We have many activities this week, as we seem to just about every week. Please read the announcements in the order of service or check the sanctuary screens to learn more. We have an announcement from Sue Rakow. Code Blue shelters need us, give so that others may eat. Code Blue refers to the emergency winter shelter program for people experiencing homelessness when temperatures drop below 32 degrees, as they will tonight. This year, Code Blue has moved to a facility that can house up to 80 people. Hunger is not a distant problem. It is a daily reality for many of our Ithaca neighbors. Last year, our congregation contributed meals twice a month during the coldest months. The cooks also purchased the food. This year, with double the capacity in the new facility, we need more cooks, buyers, food deliverers, and money to buy the food. We will be providing a meal at the shelter on Wednesday, December 3rd. Hunger is more than a rumble in the stomach. It is a sustained crisis that can reshape a life. You can help. Please stop by the table in the parlor during coffee hour. Look for Sarah Catterall or Matt Hare. Sign up to help with the meals and drop some money in the pot to help us buy the ingredients. And thank you. And now an announcement from Laura Ramos.
Hi everyone, good morning. So quick announcement from me. We are looking for a young singer or two between the ages of 8 and 12 who might be interested in singing a solo with our UU choir, who you'll hear this morning, at our 2 Sage Chapel services on December 23rd. It would primarily be the first verse of O Holy Night. We're excited to open this opportunity to UU youth first, before extending the search to the Ithaca community. We are planning to hold auditions before or after services next Sunday, November 16th. However, we can be somewhat flexible on the audition date if needed. And I would like you to please see me after services. I have a little interest sheet, just name, child's name, email, phone number after the service so that we can start to organize this. All right. And I am also looking for people who would like to make music up here on this stage with me, okay? If you have any interest in singing with me or without me, in playing an instrument, whatever your talent may be, I encourage you to reach out to me. Particularly, I'm looking for someone to sing hymns on November 30th, but I'm looking to involve congregation members more and more in the music. So also, after service, come talk to me about that as well. Thank you.
If you are new or visiting for the first time, I invite you to stop by the welcome table in the parlor after the service, right through those doors. This is where we usually have coffee, snacks, and conversation after the service. And in the spirit of intentionally gathering in community, please take a moment to switch off your cell phones to silent mode and to spend a moment greeting your neighbors. Great. There's such wonderful fellowship that occurs during that greeting. I'm always hesitant to draw it to a close. Today's chalice lighting will be done by Don Barber and Rita Rosenberg. Please join me in the chalice lighting words. This chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action.
Come now into this place of quiet hope, where blessing waits, not in grand gestures, but in the simple gifts of our presence, courage, and care. Here may our hearts be opened, our spirits steadied, and our lives carried once more by love. Let us begin this service. I'd like to invite the young at heart who are going to do our collection as we rise for our first hymn. They're right up here front. Come on down and help us out.
Be thou
If there's anyone here who is young or young at heart and wants to come down to the front for a story this morning, I'm going to be your substitute teacher. Hello. Do you want to open it together? Okay, I have two right here who, you know what, Waldo, maybe next week. We're going to open the Wonder Box and tell me what you find inside. Do you want to pick it up? Do you want to hold it up? What is it? A pine cone. Do you eat pine cones? No? Anyone here eat pine cones?
No, they're giant seeds. Why would you eat them?
Well, but inside there are seeds called pine nuts. And and sometimes we do eat those. And some other animals also like pine nuts. So I'm going to read you a story about a squirrel, actually two squirrels, and squirrels like pine nuts. And this book is called The Squirrels Who Squabbled. Do you want to come up? No? That's okay. In a towering forest whose summer had been as cool and a bit fresh, and the mosses grew green, and as autumn edged in and all the sky raged red, the sleepiest creatures got ready for bed. It's kind of like we're feeling now. While up in a tree swung a flighty young squirrel who everyone knew as Spontaneous Cyril. Now most foresty folk had seen in their needs, though the plentiful months of mushrooms and seeds. They'd built up their stories so they'd all be well fed through the frosting of winter and glittering ahead. But Cyril, he lived here and now. He'd adventured and partied all the way through the year, so his cupboard was empty. He wasn't ready for winter. And he didn't have a mouthful anywhere. But wait, what was that? Over there, take a look. A lone single pine cone. Do you want to hold up the pine cone? Yeah, that's our lone single pine cone, and he squealed with delight, for inside the very last nuts of the season. But Cyril wasn't alone. There were more hungry eyes. There was Plan Ahead Bruce, had his sights on that prize. And Bruce had gathered a mountain of food all, but he needed one more pine cone. I must have it, he cried, as he dreamt of the fresh pine nuts inside. So as Cyril set off on his way to the ground, Bruce was also last pine cone bound. Here, I'm gonna take the pine cone. This was the last pine cone, and they were both racing for it. And they went up to the top of the tree, and it came loose. Both squirrels gave a lightning chase. You see the pine cone bouncing down the hill. It's mine, shouted Cyril. It's mine, hollered Bruce. You don't stand a chance. Give it up. It's no use. They're running after the pine cone. I'm hungry, said Cyril. This one is not yours. Stay back, shouted Bruce. That cone is for my stores. And it bonked over the bushes and bunged on the nose of a sleeping bear and over the boulders. And it came to a stop right on the tippy top of a rock. Plop. Off into the water, and the squirrels followed. Oh, the water was fast. Would they learn what they needed? Each other at last. But each was intent on how he could win. They didn't quite notice a bird sweeping in. Cyril and Bruce, they watched in dismay, and up the cone disappeared, up, and away. Come back, shouted Cyril. They're our nuts, exclaimed Bruce, but all hope was gone. And meanwhile, they drifted right up to the ledge. Greed was driving them over the edge. Oh no! Cyril and Bruce, they fell down the waterfall. They were paying the price for wanting it all. They'd squandered their chances to team up and share. Would their nutty young hopes simply end in despair? Bruised and bedraggled, they swept past dry land. Cyril grabbed at a branch with a trembling hand. Catching Bruce with the other, he heaved and he huffed and dragged him to safety with panting and puffs. They stared at the sky, quite lost in deep thought, until Bruce looked at Cyril and let out a snort. What are they doing? Are they chasing each other? Kind of, but what else are they doing? They're laughing. I think they kind of realized how ridiculous it had gotten. How silly we are, how greedy I've been, spluttered Bruce with a giggle. We shall change from a day, may the squabbling cease. We should celebrate, seeing we're both in one piece. I mean, they fell off a waterfall and they're still alive. From that day forward and forward, they made a great pair. They would gather together and found they could share. Yes, Cyril and Bruce, and look at all the food they have. Look at all that. That looks pretty tasty, all that food. Not just pine nuts. Yeah, and they knew in the end, the best thing to share is a laugh with a friend. So do you think they're feeling more gratitude at the end than they did at the beginning? Yeah. Do you ever fight sometimes with maybe a friend or maybe your brother or sister? It's like you both want the same thing, but you do.
It's worst for me.
It's worst for you. Sometimes we all feel that way. But it's also really good to share. So thank you for sharing the story, and maybe you'll even pick up some pine nuts to eat before Thanksgiving. Parents and caregivers, if you have not signed your children out for religious exploration, please follow the adults into the parlor, and we will sing the children out where you go.
Good morning. In a spirit of reverence, love, and care, we take time now to bear witness to some of the joys and sorrows of our community, to share those events that call for our prayers and support, our praise and celebration. I have a joy from Tom Wright. A granddaughter, Eli, was born to his daughter, Alexa Rain Wright. Welcome. From Nick Guerin, a huge thank you to the many volunteers who week after week took postcards to mail to Virginia voters. For the June primary and general election, the Finger Lakes region sent more than 16,000 postcards. Amazing. Lloyd Graves would like to thank Jane DeMacos for sharing her touching stories and music last week in her performance, A Harpist on the Threshold. And this is from Claire and Ram Perez. We are thinking of a dear friend whose brother died by suicide last week. It's our wish that he be at home with the angels. It's also our wish that we may be more vocal about having real discussions about personal pain and suffering. It's bigger than the mental health practitioners can address alone. This is from Therese O'Connor, an appreciation to Don Barber for his weekly financial education tidbits for all of us. I would also like to appreciate Don and Rita Barber for welcoming my son's horse, Arthur, to their farm later today. Arthur is retiring from the Morrisville State College Draft Horse Program, and we're all very excited that Arthur is joining our family and the herd at the Barber's house. For those we are holding in our thoughts, in our hearts, and perhaps in our prayers, into this community, into the space of healing and hope, let us call these names out loud. For those we are holding silently in our hearts, let us take a moment of silence. We extend loving kindness to all in our world, and let us remember to extend loving kindness to ourselves. Today, tomorrow, and beyond, let our hands be outstretched in kindness, and let us strive to keep showing up to our lives and each other with an open heart. Love and courage to us all. Blessed be, and amen.
Please join me in the spirit of meditation. Blessings that carry us. When the world feels uncertain and the noise grows too loud, there is still a thread of grace, blessings that weave through the fabric of our days, a quiet kindness, a steady breath, an inner light that keeps returning. Blessings are experienced when a person offers to help. They are experienced in the ordinary shared meal, and in the smile of a stranger that says, "You are not alone." Blessings don't fix everything. They don't take away the ache, but they soften the edges and can steady our hearts. Blessings are found in the warmth that lingers, in the laughter that surprises us, and in the love that keeps showing up again and again. So lean gently into the blessings, friends. Let them carry you through the weary hours and the bright ones, through what is broken and what is still whole. Let them carry us toward kindness without end, toward peace that keeps beginning, and toward love that will not let go.
Each week, we take an offering to sustain the important ministries and programs of this congregation and its presence in Ithaca and beyond. Giving to the plate is important. It's a symbol of our gratitude for this service and our ongoing commitment to support the work of this church. For those attending remotely, follow the instructions on the screen. For those attending in person, our ushers will now pass the plate. Please join me in saying the offertory words. May these gifts bring about connection, inspiration, and engagement within these walls and beyond.
The Patience of Ordinary Things by Pat Schneider. It is a kind of love, is it not? How the cup holds the tea, how the chair stands sturdy and foursquare, how the floor receives the bottoms of shoes or toes, how soles of feet know where they're supposed to be. I've been thinking about the patience of ordinary things, how clothes wait respectfully in closets and soap dries quietly in the dish, and towels drink the wet from the skin of the back, and the lovely repetition of stairs. And what is more generous than a window?
There's just something so playfully steadying in that wonderful poem. I keep reading it over and over this week. The way it invites us to notice the quiet faithfulness of the world around us. In a time when so much feels uncertain, these small gestures of patience and generosity remind us that blessing is often woven through the most ordinary things. This morning, I want to speak about blessing, not as something though sentimental, but as a quiet current of grace moving through our days. It's there in the steadfastness of small things, in the way that life keeps tending to us even when we are distracted or weary. Blessings steady also the hand that reaches for the cup. It can soften the air between us when our words fall short. Blessing, as we know, doesn't erase the world's ache, but it reminds us that goodness still abides, patient, generous, waiting to be noticed. I think of a story, perhaps you read it too, this past September after that tragic shooting at a Latter-day Saints congregation, where someone only loosely connected to that community began a fundraiser, but not for the victims' families, but for the family of the man who had been the murderer. It wasn't an act of denial, but of recognition that even in the wreckage of that violence, people were left grieving and in need of care, a widow and 2 young children. That gesture felt like a kind of blessing to me. Not one that erases pain, but one that insists mercy still has a place among us, even in the worst of times. We've all witnessed grace, I imagine, rising from devastation at other moments. I love remembering about the folks at Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston. Remember the young man who came in and prayed with them, but then massacred 9 of the worshipers at his side. At his hearing, do you remember that many of them were in attendance, and many of them saying, "I forgive you." Their forgiveness was not a denial, but a refusal to let hatred have the final word. That was the blessing that carried them and so many others, a blessing fierce enough to keep love alive even in the face of that horrific, horrific moment. As gun violence has become heartbreakingly routine in our nation, I think too of a story many years ago of the Amish community in Nickel Mines, Pennsylvania, when a gunman entered a one-room schoolhouse and killed 5 young girls. Amish neighbors we would learn through the coverage in the news reached out that day to comfort the killer's family. They brought food, sat with them in their grief, attended his funeral. The world was astonished. I remember thinking, where does that come from? But for the Amish, we were told forgiveness is not extraordinary. It is how they understand their life, their communal life with God. Their mercy revealed the blessing that carried their community through what would have felt impossible to any of us. These stories, I believe, though, are not meant to leave us marveling at extraordinary goodness, though it was extraordinary, but to awaken us to the quiet work of mercy still possible in all of our lives. When we witness such grace, something in us remembers what it means to be truly human, to be held by a love larger than our fear or anger or rage. Bearing witness keeps that love, if only in a small voice inside of us. It teaches us that compassion isn't a rare miracle, but a way of being the world still makes room for. But what allows such mercy to rise in our world that so often, though really often, more often, maybe equally so, meets pain with more pain? What opens a heart to choose compassion instead of despair, to choose forgiveness instead of understandable fury? I don't know. I'm beginning to understand that these moments aren't sudden miracles at all, but the flowering of something long tended before. Habits of patience, reverence, and a love that takes root quietly in ordinary days. To live this way, of course, isn't simple. It takes practice, the daily choosing of tenderness over fear, the courage to keep our hearts open when cynicism tempts us to remain closed. It means noticing beauty even amidst cruelty and letting that beauty remind us of what is still possible. We must live in this way, mustn't we? It's as if our lives and the life of our world depends on it, because they do. Because they do. To live in this way is to remember our deep belonging, that our lives and the world's life are woven together, of which we are a part. Mercy is how we must resist forgetting, to never forget our humanity. Each act of compassion can become a small turning towards wholeness. It's hard to remember that sometimes, though, right? Especially now, because mercy is slow work. It grows from stillness. It grows from community, from stories and song that keeps our heart supple. It asks for rest and truly for the courage to lament. And it calls for a renewal of trust, that the small mercies we tend might in time help tilt the world towards a greater tenderness. And sometimes, of course, that trust takes shape right before our eyes. We see it in steadfast acts of care. Remembering the medical workers who stayed beside their patients through the darkest hours of the pandemic, when no one felt safe. Or now, protesters, ordinary citizens linking arms to protect their neighbors, strangers. And in the mutual aid within our own community, providing meals and groceries as SNAP benefits were halted this week. There's a lot going on right out in our sanctuary afterwards, but also in our broader community. I feel so grateful to be part of a community that began organizing very quickly when we heard about SNAP benefits. I think of these blessings as blessings in motion, quiet signs that even in devastation and fear, compassion still moves among us. Blessing so often moves quietly, though, and yet with great power. Steady, ordinary, life-giving, it can carry us when we feel we cannot carry ourselves. And we all have those moments. I dare say that maybe is part of what brings us here every Sunday, to just be restored in that awareness that we are held in care. I'd like you to pause with me at this moment and to kind of just visit the interior of your own heart, to call to mind a blessing in your own life, something small, not grand, something steadfast that has steadied you or continues to steady you in this time. To take that moment and just call to mind what steadies you in this time. Breathe in this moment. Paul's words to the Corinthians echoes here. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things, love never ends. Though often read at weddings, these words were never meant to describe romantic love. They speak instead of a larger, a harder love, the love that sustains communities in turmoil, that resist division, that endures even when conflicts threaten to tear us apart. This is not sentimental love. It is a fierce, steadfast, a love that does not turn away. It is a blessing made visible, compassion in motion, love as a way of life. In our Unitarian Universalist tradition, blessing flows from many sources, from wisdom, courage, compassion of many places, the beauty of our earth, and the communities that sustain us. Ours is a faith of ongoing creation and unfolding truth, where revelation rises whenever love and justice take root. It guides us then. Blessing is renewed in the quiet rhythms of our days, in moments of stillness and breath, but also in shared rituals of song, prayer, candlelight, and silence, and also, of course, in acts of service and solidarity that mend what has been broken. It meets us whenever we open our hearts to life's sacred unfolding. Blessing calls us to keep faith with life itself, to trust that even through heartbreak, even through the kind of deep worry that is in so many of our hearts, that grace still rises and love still finds a way if we take notice. Friends, in these turbulent times, we need blessing. We need to notice it, to receive it, and most importantly, to extend it. For blessing does not carry us away from the pain of the world, but through it, together. And as we go, may we each be held and empowered by that blessing that's always there waiting for us, carried in compassion, sustained in gratitude, renewed in love for the days ahead. May this be so. Amen.
this precious day, for all gathered here in this far away, for the love to share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Before the closing words, I just came up with a great fundraiser for our congregation. Magdalene is going to rent herself out to all the children's parties in our whole area. Don't you think that's... Just when you think you've reached the end of the wonders she provides for us, she gets up and does this. So really consider it. I mean, you're only a professor and, you have a little time. How about the church? No, you're such a blessing. You are a blessing. Friends, blessing does not spare us from the world's ache, but it gives us courage to meet it with resolve, with love, with peace, with generosity of spirit. Go now held by compassion that is shared amongst us, between us, rooted in the deepest of gratitude, and renewed for the work of tending this weary but ever beautiful home we share. Blessings. Amen.
As I shared at the beginning of our service, the light shines within this sanctuary and certainly shines brighter as a result of that beautiful work by the UU Choir. Thank you, Jane, and all of you. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our service has ended. Let our true service now begin.